G'day guys and welcome back to the JFBS SuperCoach channel. And today what we're going to go through is the round 2 preview, what my team's going to be looking like going into round 2 of the AFL season. If you haven't checked out my midweek video, go check it out. That is probably more informative than what I'm doing last week, or some guys to look for in this round compared to today's video. This one is just what am I doing with my team and its circumstances it's presented me. So I don't know how typically long this video will go for, but yesterday's video is around 40 minutes, and I talked about a few different topics, a couple of guys that could be the move to go for. I did mention a little bit, Blackiston and Filippo and Marshall being the guys that might get dropped from my side. Obviously, we've talked about, you got Milan Murdoch, you've got Braden Cook, and you've got Joe Fonte, who's now really shot up. Most traded ins. And the whole time I was thinking of going with Blackiston to Fonte, but now I'm kind of going a different direction. So let's optimize my team. This is what it's telling me my best chances are. Obviously, Filippo on the bench. I think Robertson's better than Lombard's. We have him there. So what we've learned is that Blackiston is... I think maybe I'm giving up on him a little bit too early, but his run is really hard after this week. He's got Dante Visentini this week, and then, it's probably easier if I went with his fixture like this. So he's got Port Adelaide. Okay, it's just not going to... Thanks, SuperCoach. Well, what I'm trying to say is that his schedule is going to be really rough. He's obviously got Port Adelaide next week. I think he's got North Melbourne. Yep, North Melbourne next week. Dogs the week after, Tim English, and I think Melbourne's in that mix as well. Yep, straight after. Jared Witts, Darcy Cameron. That's probably your toughest 5 weeks that you'll ever get for a ruck. And Nick Bryan's supposed to be around here. But if he can still do 70s, it's not great. It's around 350. So I'm going to give him one more week. I want him to get a spike game, which would be great, but it's going to be tough. I'm not trading him yet. Filippo's a test this week with his quad. He corked it on the weekend. And look, it wasn't as significant as I thought it was, but obviously, when you get a corky in your quad or just anywhere, it's really bad, it really affects you. So look, I think at this moment I'm not going to get rid of him because it sounds like he might be out for a week. He'll come back in the week after, and then they've got their bye. So he misses round 2, round 3, round 4 bye. So I'm reluctant to keep him, but I think I will. And it's the same with Marshall. Marshall, I'm rather keep if both were out this week. So I think I'm getting rid of Marshall. I'm not getting rid of Marshall. Sorry, I'm getting rid of someone that I haven't mentioned yet. But look, he looks really good against North Melbourne. He was probably one of the shining lights out of that game. If he does, let's just say 85s for the rest of the season, he gets up to 400k by round 8, and that's pretty decent. That's a good on-field guy to have, and you could sell him high. It says he can get to 450, but you're not banking on, but he'll make 5k this week and 5k next week and the week after that. You probably want to get rid of him. Your latest is right here in round 9, round 8. You can get him to a forward, definitely, or a midfielder. That's for sure. Another guy that's kind of on a test week as well is Hayden Young. It seems that he had a bit of hamstring awareness. He's keeping everyone on edge, which is great. So I think Fremantle are going to play it safe and not play him. That might be the case. I don't know what's going on there, though. This is tough. So I think I'm just going to keep him because he's at a price where if he just starts to, if he averages 90s, which is what he was before halftime, not before halftime, before three-quarter time, before he went down in price, He can get to 450k, and if there's a crap rookie like, for example, Jack Carroll, who's not making enough money, I can easily just switch him out as well, and then upgrade Young to a primo who's going to be playing a lot more games, and can assure you with that, and you get a rookie that's potentially coming up. So who am I trading out? I think it's pretty obvious with Doveston. Why am I trading him out? I didn't like. He scored I think he scored a goal. We'll have a look at his SuperCoach. I mean, he scored a 42, which isn't great, and I kind of knew that going into it. And look, it's just going to be a waste of a trade. Yeah, look, 42 had 10 disposals. He didn't even have a goal. So I mean, maybe if he does get a goal, and that can get to around 50 or 60, but I can't rely on him scoring a goal a game at his age, and he's not much experience in the AFL system. So I think he'll be similar to Kako. He'll be a slow burn. He'll have one spike game and make your money the week after. Not much the week after that. And then after those 2 weeks of having his, for example, 80 or 90 score, that is going to be out of his break-even system. So I can't be having that. And guys that I'm obviously looking at is Milan Murdoch, Braden Cook, and Joe Fonte. Obviously, if I had enough money, I would have 110% gone with Joe Fonte, but I've kind of gone off of him because even if he does score 285s, another like 280s, let's just say, he's going up against St Kilda, who I think he'll score a lot against. So that could be an 85, and that's an 80. He gets to just under 400, and he plays Richmond. We'll just do 85 there. He just gets to 400k, and look, he has a buy. I'd rather just Blackiston to another guy. If Darcy Parish is doing decent, we might do a Blackiston to Parish swap, and then I could swap Sammy Grill to the back line, and then I've got another mid-price in the midfield, which I wouldn't mind. A guy that we know after that game, let's get him up. 334, scored a 93. If he just scores 90s flat out, that would be really nice. He's got a nice schedule. He's going up against Port Melbourne, who really struggled against North, and then obviously North Melbourne after that. So if he just goes 90s, look, he makes 36k, 26, just under 20, just under 15. Some very nice numbers there by round 6. He doesn't have an early buy. That's probably where I'm going to be pivoting to. I'll probably have enough money if I'm going from a Sharp or a Jack Carroll down to a Milan Murdoch. Gives me enough money to go with Blackiston. But I think today we're going to go with Braden Cook. Now, it's just going to be the one trade, and I have 24k left over, which is fine. The way he looked on the weekend, I really liked. So I think we're just going to do one trade this week, because I don't want to jump the gun on other guys. Like, for example, I don't want to get rid of Clark so quickly, even though they're historic. I think it was it something like Team Wheelo? Something like that. AFL Wheelo, yeah. Team statistics. Fantasy scores. If we do it like that. Look, Freo is third last. That's below Richmond West Coast as well in the AFL average, which is interesting. AFL average is 1549. Anyways, they are third. That's just after one game. So, look, I don't expect this every week. They do have Melbourne where are they? They're just above them, above 2 spots. So maybe the points will get shared out a bit more. There might be a few higher scoring guys like Andy Brayshaw can get more bloody points to his name. But look, I don't want to jump the gun and trade Brayshaw or Clark with a disappointing score just yet. I want to see how others do. Like a big name is what's his face, Dan Houston at 430k. I mean, I chose the wrong Collingwood defender, went with Dacos instead of him, but that's okay. If Dacos can still hover around the 105 spot, I'm okay until I can get rid of him for another guy who's averaging another 10 points, which would be nice. But yeah, I think that's going to be the one trade I do. And then next week, I'm thinking of doing Blackiston, and if we're thinking of like Jack Carroll could, or Dyson Sharp. I'm trying to think of guys who are going to go down to Milan Murdoch, and it gives me that. It allows me to have using my boost to get another guy. So teams that okay, I'll give you an example. What I'm trying to say. So teams that did have the early buy, let's just select them really quick. And I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. If we go just pure break evens at the moment. Okay, I accidentally chose West Coast. So I want to choose Bulldogs. We've basically got all the rookies that we want. I mean, Zane Zacko, Stelsky, I don't think he's going to be making as much money as other guys. I think Michael Selwood is going to be a slow burn. I mentioned it in the past couple of videos. If you haven't checked them, go check them out. The only guy I've been really interested in was Joe Fonte, but look, it's not making enough money quick enough, if that makes sense. Like, I'd rather spend, save or not. What am I trying to say? By saving, let's say, 150,000, and 20 points less, I'm okay with that because I know they're going to be making more money than Joe Fonte will in the end. But I heard he's good on a fantasy, like AFL fantasy side, but not SuperCoach. So, and then look, there's really not many other guys that really interest me. I mean, Riley Bice has had a good first couple games, but then if we go to the other teams that do have a nice, who don't have the early buy, we've got Adelaide, Essendon, Freo, Melbourne, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Richmond, and West Coast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. So these are the other, 8 teams. These are guys that we kind of want to look for next week. So Milan Murdoch, obviously. I don't expect his score to be like this every week, so just keep an eye out on that. Harry Sharp, I mean, he did play well on the weekend, I thought, so who knows, maybe he can do all right, and we can pivot to him. Some other guys as well. I mean, Bo Allen, yeah, look, minus 13 break-even's not too bad. Dylan Stevens could be an option from Blackiston to him. Excuse me if you hear me sniffles. I mean, Jack Watkins, but we got to just keep an eye out for some of these other guys. Like Steely Green might have another big game. He played really well on the weekend. If he scores another 73, his break-even will go down even more. Would be really nice. Latrell Pickett, I know he had a poor first game, but if he can back up that first score with a better score, that'd be great. So there really isn't many options there. I mean, we've got Braden Cook already on my team, which is who you're looking at, but there's really not many options. Like, it's Murdoch, Cook, Fonte, potentially Dylan Stevens if that halfback role is strong, which I'm sure it is. I mean, Will Dersman's also not a bad option, -1. His job security is the best probably out of any rookie in the league. But yeah, there's really not many options here. I think as a AFL Supercoach community, all the analysts, all the people that back there, who watch the games better than I do, and some guys that watch them and keep up to date with them, and your own opinion as well. I think as a Supercoach community, we've done really well with the rookies. Milan Murdoch, no one heard of him probably before he got named, and Braden Cook was was 5% owned, so it wasn't like he was completely out of, no one knew him. And look, Joe Fonte was another guy, but I think we've done actually okay for, what we have with our research with the rookies, because at the moment there's not really much to go off from. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully I'm not scrambling too much. But my round 2 score isn't that pretty. It's a 16.29. But yeah, also another thing about Cook, he doesn't have an early buy, so I can rely on him making money quick. Let's say he just goes 80s from now on with a nice 92 against Collingwood, because I don't expect him doing 90 every week. And, who knows, he has a spike game against St Kilda, for example, because they gave Josh Dacos 130-something points or something like that. Yeah, look, he makes 70, 48, 36, 31. Some really nice stuff there. So, yeah, keep an eye out on that. But, yeah, I think that's going to do it for me. I'll do my captains, I guess, but, excuse me, my nose is running so much. So this is optimized, but I'll have Marshall over Lombard. And then I think we'll have Cook over Robertson. Or we'll have we'll have Butterick again. God, that might score more. But yeah, if we're going to look at loopholes as well, I'm going to swap Dacos with Sarong and put the emergency on Sarong instead of. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. So, first game of the week is Sydney Hawthorn. I'm going to put the emergency on Sarong. I'm going to say if he scores a 65 or more, I'll take it. Or we'll see. Maybe I prefer to swap Lindsay in. But I have all weekend to do that to make that decision. All three of my midfielders there are done. All there. So it's really like one guy that I can't field. I obviously can't swap. He doesn't have forward status, obviously, or none of these guys do, which is a little bit annoying, but that's okay. But I think this is what I'm going to roll out with. I think we're going to put the VC on Petrarca because he looks really flash so far, and he comes up against Richmond. I mean, other options you could go for is, Tim English against Adelaide, against a less experienced Lockie McAndrew, even though he played well on the weekend, I thought. Some other guys, not really from GWS or St Kilda. No one intriguing me there. I mean, you could go with Sinclair. No Tag as well. Freo Melbourne. It's risky if you're going with Sarong or Brayshaw because we've seen Tholstrup keep up with Naz, so maybe their scores might get lowered down a bit. Port Essendon, I think what I'll do is I'll VC Petrarca, Captain Butters. If something tells me that's not nice, I can always pivot to Harry Sheasel at the end of the day because he plays the Eagles. I do want to have a look. Okay, I don't want to vice captain you. I do want to have a look at his previous scores against Essendon. 119, 109, 125, and Sheasel is 137, 122, 129. Okay. Excuse me for my nose. Petrarca, what's his previous three? 129, 93, 104. Okay. I mean, he's playing. He's playing back in Melbourne. Hopefully, he does better. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to VC Petrarca go into Butters. But yeah, that's going to give me a 16-30, one-third. God, I can't speak. The 16-13 for the whole round. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what moves you guys are making, what you think of my move going from Dobberstein to Cook. I think I stuffed up there. If I have Cook for a little bit in the preseason, then somehow swapped it to Dobberstein. If I had Cook instead of Dobberstein, I probably wouldn't be making a trade this week, maybe except for Murdoch just to get on it a week early. But you never know what happens with these rooks. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Like I said, let me know what you think of my moves. Tell me what your moves are going to be. Let me know your thoughts and feelings of the round. Who's going to perform well? Who you think won't? But yeah, let me know anything about anything. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you guys have a good one. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.